Aaron?
Aaron.
The Plumber. Yeah.
Highlights.
Oh, the guy.
Oh, no. Crash out right there. Right
First
there.
one?
No, second one.
I'm a licensed plumber.
Would you rather this or what? Yeah, bro.
Oh, he crashed out. Wait, hold on. I missed that.
I'm a licensed plumber. Thank you. You did me a favor as well.
Yeah. Also, my eyes are up here, baby. Are you looking at the tattoo?
No, I'm looking at the hair on your arms. You know, women I deal with, they don't have hair on their arms.
Don't do too much.
Hey, I'm just being honest.
She's not here.
You know, I don't like that. That's all I was looking at.
They're just
trying to see if I'm looking at particular body
You just
parts,
wasn't
but
looking at my
that's not what
eyes.
it is. No,
That's
I was
all
looking at the hair on your
Anyways,
arms.
you asked me the question.
Yes. You want your balloon back, queen?
Wait, hold on. Is he a contestant or is he a host?
Contestant.
Talking to you, sweet.
I'm like, yo, if he was a host, this would be crazy, bro.
He's a host. I want to wear dress.
I already let you know. I'm not interested in. You got more hair on your arms than me, baby.
Look at you too. You kind of look like a Ninja Turtle. You're not that cute.
Oh, Ninja Turtle.
You need to relax. You stand
Okay,
on
good. It has the
yourself.
other shit too.
And I was trying to be respectful.
I stay by myself, queen. You know, and you're not even qualified to be even
You
dealing
say
with me.
everybody not qualified.
You definitely not. You know, if anything, it was one of these two. I wasn't even looking your way. You
And the
ain't
one
my
that you
type.
wanted popped
If I
up.
seen, that's fine.
So what?
That is totally fine. Trolling,
I'm really
playing. You
not
supposed to
trolling.
let that be enough. Bro, wasn't I tripping?
Well, come on,
Bro,
nigga.
keep it
Like,
100,
what the fuck you want to do?
Keep it in 100,
What the
bro.
fuck you want to do? Come on.
Keep it 100.
Cause I can bring the man out, nigga. I can bring the man out, nigga.
Wait, hold on. Who the fuck? Wait, hold on. That was a man?
That was a trend, bro. This is a trend.
Like, what the fuck you want to do?
Keep it in 100,
What the
bro.
fuck you want to do? Come on.
Keep it
Cause I can
100,
bring the man out, nigga. I can bring the man out, nigga.
I'm trying to make something happen with Erica Minute. So when I seen she walked in, I was more fired up. I'm trying to catch another fade, you know, in front of baby.
Nah, tell that nigga suck my dick, bro.
I don't like your whole tone.
Yo, Zinni, bro, he not fucking with the wave check, bro.
Pipe to pipe her. Trying to kiss you. Bitch ass. Get down right now. What's happening? We can get it cracking.
Come on, no, hey.
Nigga, I can't sleep like this, bro. Nigga, get him up with any nigga. Bring this nigga ass. You got it. Fuck it. It is what it is. But bring this nigga, man. Never been no coward. Nigga, you beat my ass 10 times.
I'm telling you. Put this lip gloss on my lip.
Clash out.
Yeah.
Clash out.
Clash
You
out.
said you wanted some lip gloss.
Yeah, baby.
You said you wanted some lip gloss. Yeah. Oh,
Hey, why you look like a dork in that world?
Baby, you know, I want to sit next to a bum. I want to sit next to a bum.
I moved closer and I'm sitting across from Aaron.
Wait, hold on. Is this the same dude from before? No, what the fuck?
Wait, what? You thought it was a different dude?
No, because before he was like, yo, I could bring the man out. And now she's like, oh my god, like, I'm the time to Aaron. Like, how the fuck I mean, I just did that. Wait a minute, but like...
Surprise yourself, bro.
Yo, hey, what is that supposed to be, bro? Fuck you, bro.
Hot ass rep, he moves right beside me. And it's just me, him, we lock eyes, everything. He has this hot breath, like the Sahara Desert, coming straight to my face, melting my makeup off. And I'm like, damn, bitch, you need some men.
You know, Mom's turning me on. You need some deodorant.
when you was fighting, your breath is hot as hell.
No way.
Your breath is hot as hell. I had to
Is he trying to fuck?
I had to give you a piece.
I don't know. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know yet, bro.
He doesn't know yet.
Bria just fed this big ass nigga a peppermint. Like, what the fuck is really going on?
It just did not work. I didn't feel like I had chemistry or wasn't fully
Nah,
attracted
for
to you. And I
this.
feel like that
Go
counts.
to the other show.
We're dating
No.
show.
Yeah. Alright, is it done?
Nah, there's more.
And skip on this.
Thank you. You did me a favor as well. Period. I got my ass whooped. You know what I'm saying, bro? Drop me. Y'all not letting me get my paper, bro. I'm a motherfucking gangster, bro. I can't sleep at night like this. Period. Period. I can't sleep like this at night with a loss on my mind. Let me get my motherfucking paper.
bro.
You niggas didn't come here looking
So
for
for putting
love,
on
nigga.
game right
I'm
now,
fighting for it, nigga.
this guy in Life
Oh,
Inspires
God,
needs to
come
lock
on.
in together,
Get
bro.
this nigga, bro. And if I take another L, fuck
that
it.
belt
It
will
is
do
what
shit.
it is. But bring this nigga, man. I can't sleep like this, bro. For real, this shit got a nigga dropping tears, nigga. That shit hurt a nigga pride, bro. Let me
Wait. Is the guy he's talking about?
No, it's a different business.
What if he got dropped by the transgender, bro? I was so confused. I'm like, nah.
You were confused? What do you mean by that?
Yo, I mean, maybe.
Period. Fuck that shit.
Nigga. At first he...
Nigga, I ain't gonna lie, bro. My pride hurt, nigga.
He starts smoking shit.
Nigga Eric over here talking about nigga lying and shit. Fuck, I gotta lie for it. Nigga, it was genuine ass. Period.
Oh man.
Nah, cause the
I
first...
want more, bro.
The comment I see...
Yeah, I got you something.
Huh?
I got you something.
Comment I
Better,
see,
bro.
nigga said he the type of nigga you have to keep fighting until he wins.
I mean, that's not wrong, bro. Bro, that shit was hilarious, bro. Aaron the Plumber, bro. Fuck me, bro. I love that shit, bro.
That plumber was hilarious.
You got any other things you can suggest me, bro?
Let me check my TikTok.
Fit and Fearless?
FitXFearless. Funny moments. FitXFearless, funny moments. Right there.
Oh, which one?
Top.
This one?
No. When you were searching up, or it was already there.
There you go. Oh, I know this guy, bro. Part 7? We're gonna do it.
Man, what the hell? Man, look at here, bro. I thought, look at it.
320 pounds.
Okay.
I'm in the right direction.
But looking at you from your chest up, I was like, man, my man look like he's swole. Okay, you used to be 300 and what pounds?
320 pounds.
Did you stop working out?
No, I'm still working out. Like, it's just been a process, man. Like, it takes time. You have to be consistent. So, like,
Okay.
I've been on this for about almost 2 years. I started January 1st, 2023. Right now, sitting at about 225 pounds. But I still have a way to go. I probably want to be around, like, 190-ish or so.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Let me see that hairline.
Oh, man. It's not good, but...
You gotta just shade that off, man. Don't leave it on your head. It makes it
Which
look
one's which?
worse. If you
Are they
have a
same?
hairline that is that far back, if it's doing the
That's the one you wanted, yeah?
that far back on your forehead,
That's a zinger on
shave it off.
That's a zinger,
Don't
zinger.
leave hair on your head.
Super
It makes it look
crunch.
worse.
Zinger,
You look
fellas.
better bald than
And
you
then
do
the last
right
one?
now because it just makes you
You
look
want more?
super old. It makes you look like you're 50
That's
years old.
probably a zinger.
They got people in the chat saying that you're 44,
You're mine.
you're 24.
Jeez, man.
Thank
She
you.
just cheated on me, like
You got a zinger, right?
Oh, you got the zinger.
real talk.
Did you get Big Crunch or no?
I thought I got the original.
Showed it to me. Wait a minute.
So then I got Big Crunch.
You were dating this girl
You can
for
mix and
how
match
long?
though.
Almost 8 months. That was your
Okay.
actual girlfriend.
Fuck
Yeah.
it. I'm down.
Got tired of it.
That's what we got.
So what was the transition? She just like said, I don't want to do this anymore? Or did she told you she cheated? She didn't tell me she cheated. I just knew she, because how would you get a tattoo with somebody that ain't hearing that? You feel me? Like, especially on the butt. You feel me? So randomly, your girlfriend of 8 months had a tattoo of a dude's name on her. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, it f***ed me up for a minute. Like, I was hurt. So, okay, was it the tattoo on the that you seen first, or was it the relationship ended, then you seen the tattoo on it? Kind of the relationship ending a little bit. Like, she kind of getting distant, not calling me as much, like, didn't want to be around
Oh,
me
no,
as
no.
much.
Search up
It
Crash
hurt.
Dummies
Like,
funny
I ain't gonna lie,
moments.
it hurt.
Funniest calls.
You got it, bro.
What fictional character do you most relate to and why?
Winnie the Pooh, because my cat. Can you relate?
What? What the f did he just say?
No. Let me say something.
Shut the f up, man. You gonna answer this question
You
again?
seen that? You saw that DM. I know you saw that DM and you just read my cat. And you go, we gotta call him.
You think we vet all the callers? We don't even know how you got through, bro. I don't know, just like a prank or something. Hey.
So, are you a put on a shirt person before you put on your boxers?
Yeah, I got my boxes on now.
Alright. What's the worst date you've ever been on?
And this guy had been trying to talk to me for a while. Mind you, he was like 30, like 29 to 30. He's like, oh, well, I really want to take you to this haunted corn maze.
Oh,
So we get into the corn maze, and he's like, you know what would be so funny right now? I'm like, what? He's like, if I left you. I'm like, huh? This man took off at a full So I'm running behind him. I lose him. And then he pops out of nowhere. He's like, oh, I got you. Like, it's like cracking. So why the fuck we're walking again probably another 6 or 7 minutes. He breaks off into a full sprint again. I'm not chasing after him this time. I just start crying. One of the crew members, he comes out and he's like, he broke my back, whatever. He's like, well, I'm gonna just walk you to the end of the maze. Cause he seen him leave.
What's your worst experience with a celebrity?
Down here, there's like a 5K run that the Saints put on for like, I guess, charity event. And so Drew Brees was out there, and I ran up on him. But it wasn't on no hostage, and he ended up being like, "Hey, don't run up on me like that," and push me. Now, mind you, I had my girl with me, so I probably would have let it slide if I was by myself. To make a long story short, Drew Brees grabbed me by my neck, pushed me against the wall, and said, "Stop playing with me."
What'd you do after that though? After he humped you up, like a.
So after Drew Brees ended up tipping me up, I don't know how nobody like ain't seen or like they ain't make no big deal out of it, or they ain't really care.
Was crying
But
for a witness. What'd you do immediately after he let you go?
Bro, I was in shock. I didn't do nothing. He walked away.
When he walked away, how long did you like watch him walk away?
I probably sat there and watched him walk away for like a good 3 seconds, and I got to myself and left.
What's your girl say to you after that?
The whole time she's thinking I'm gonna sit there and really fight Drew Brees. But nah, bro, I
couldn't even do that to your city, huh? Like,
how am I supposed to fight the person that brought me a Super Bowl?
was he playing currently at that time?
This happened like a couple years ago.
Oh,
Like,
he had a
retired Drew Brees.
I was at my aunt's funeral, and now people are taking turns going up to the mic and saying good things about him. Now my cousin goes up there, and I hear instrumentals start playing, and then he start freestyling.
Yo, my funeral is no cipher, bro.
I'm telling you, bro.
I got you, bro.
Call him right now.
All right, what's his number?
What up, cuzzo?
I was just telling him the story of how you was freestyling that auntie funeral.
Man, I'm not gonna tell nobody.
Just show him the freestyle.
I'm sorry, auntie.
We in order? Oh shit! No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Cancer.
No, it's okay. I realized I didn't communicate that
I
effectively.
really
It's all good,
meant
bro.
to
It's all
kill
good.
you. God should have made you die, but tonight he took my fucking auntie.
Look, his auntie, bro.
No, Daddy was mad at me. Hey.
And I was just telling him the story of how you was freestyling that auntie funeral.
Man, I know you didn't tell nobody.
Just show him the freestyle, bro.
I'm sorry, auntie.
I'm cleaning out my closet.
No, that ain't like that. It's cancer. I really meant to kill you. God should have made you die, but tonight he took my fucking auntie. Dog, Daddy was mad at me. Hey. Don't tell nobody else that.
That's what you want me to do?
What do you got going on?
What was the best moment of your life?
Basically, he stole my strap, like out my car at the club. Man, why just end up dying like a week later? And I still couldn't get my goddamn strap back.
Down.
I ain't gonna lie, this ain't my best work, y'all. This ain't my best work. Y'all caught me at a bad time.
No.
We just debating like some inner demons with the. How he died?
Oh, this OD.
Conveniently? The week after?
Hey, man, if some happened to y'all and that end up gone, y'all wouldn't be like, life works in mysterious ways.
It do.
What do you mean by that?
You know what? I'm gonna have to let you slide, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna investigate this. I don't want to magically OD a week after this either, bro. Whatever you intended on calling this podcast to do it, you did it. I'm scared.
hey, you think y'all saw what I did to my own dad?
Whoa.
Well, what you do to your dad?
No, get this man.
Y'all remember? I brought my dad.
You did do that.
Rogan. You did rob your daddy. I remember that. It's the craziest thing you did to get a girl to like you.
I had convinced this shit.
Oh, I know this one. I know this one, bro. I heard this one.
I was in like 9th grade. I convinced like 4 or 5 people I had cancer. All her friends. This shit took me 2 years to accomplish.
You fake dying for 2 years?
Was it mission accomplished?
Of course.
Is this the girl?
Of course.
Nah, hell no.
So.
She think I died.
Oh, fuck.
So I told her I moved in with my friends because my mom couldn't stand to see me like that.
No way. What's a sign that someone didn't like you that you like back?
Shorty I've been talking to for a minute. Talked to her in class, got her number, and it was one of those things where you try to schedule a date, but it always gets kind of pushed out. I see her, I'm like, yo, let's go out. I'll buy you dinner Friday night. She's like, I would, but I can't this week. My cousin died in a shooting. I can't go. I want to be with my family right now. Next week, I'm at a bar, right? I see her cousin at the bar with his people. I text her immediately. I'm like, what's up? Why is your cousin alive? So
asking her why your cousin's alive is a crazy question.
It was crazy because I saw that, bro. I thought it was a ghost.
Only one way to get back at her.
Yo, look, I'm working on it, bro. You can't tell me a lie and expect me not to make it reality, bro. Something like that.
Nah, I feel you, bro. Yeah, that kid gotta go.
No, he do, bro. And then I gotta show up to the funeral, bro.
Yes, and ask her out on a date. Yeah, like I know you free tomorrow.
She actually might need the time with her family this time.
It is good.
A stud paying for is way worse than paying for it. Because you already got some.
Is you wrong?
You're not wrong, bro.
Nah, it's crazy.
Alright, let me see if I can read the whole thing. There's more? No. There is one part that I felt like would have made it funnier. Okay. A stud paying for is way worse than paying for it. Cause you already got some man.
Madness, bro.
I feel like that man makes it a little bit more funny. Bro, cause you already got some man.
Nah, teacher crazy.
Oh my god.
Would you rather end world hunger or get $10 million right now?
What do I get from ending world hunger?
If you end world hunger, nobody will know you did it. But if you take the 10 million, everybody will know that you took the 10 million.
Damn, so I don't even get no credit?
Nope.
Nah, I'm taking 10 mil, bro. My bad. I'm taking 10 mil.
So what are you saying to the people that are asking for answers? Like, why did you take the 10 mil?
Stone me if you want to. I'm up 10 mil. Hungry ass bitch.
That's crazy, bro.
Hungry ass niggas is crazy, fam.
Holy.